Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to work through a resume and a cover letter with you. Now, normally in class, this process would require you to have selected a career, and your resume might be a little bit different. So I thought, just for a general example, what I'm going to do is I am going to create a resume for someone with no work, no to little work experience, such as a teenage high school student, and kind of use that as the template you can use to help create your own resume for your immediate needs. Pretty soon I'm going to be joined by Ben Ross, and he's going to kind of be our example. He's indicated he's interested in a career in the medical field, and so I've created kind of a mock job description here for us to use to create a resume that's tailored to fit him. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do kind of a combination resume between a functional resume and a targeted resume. A functional resume, if you remember from the lectures, is a type of resume that focuses more on skills than experience, skills and experience rather than what types of jobs you've had, which is the perfect type of resume for a teenager kind of looking for a new job when they don't have a lot, if any, work experience. And Ben has indicated to me that he has never held a job. So this will be a good opportunity to create this resume and kind of go through it in that way. I'm doing a targeted resume because you want to tailor the resume to the people you're applying for. And it's more work, but it's certainly worth it in the end. And you don't have to tailor everything to the people you're applying for. You just have to tailor, what, specifically they're looking for. And usually you can find that in the job application itself. So if we look at this job application here, medical office internship. Dr. Smith and Wesson are looking for an ambitious pre-med student with a major in the sciences to serve as an intern in the office. The successful candidate will be posed to gain experience in the business management of a medical practice, as well as exposure to various medical cases and resolutions. Excuse me. We will be looking for an individual with basic technological skills, preferably in the use of Microsoft Office. We would desire them to have strong analytical skills and a responsible work ethic, as well as the ability to work well with others as a team. The hours are flexible. However, regular weekday attendance during our office hours is required. Please send a resume and cover letter to the offices of Dr. Smith and Wesson, 555 Colt Boulevard, Remington, Illinois, 164-522. So bear with me. We're just waiting for Ben to come here, and then we can kind of start on the resume itself. Okay, Ben's with us now.
Yep.
So
I was trying to set it up on my computer. That didn't work. So
that's right. I'd already started recording and kind of explained here what we were doing. So I'm going to go back to the slide with the job description that I was just explaining to the people.
Okay.
So you can see it. So this is the job description. Knowing that you had an interest in things. I've kind of put that on there for you.
Okay.
A medical office internship. Dr. Smith and Wesson are looking for an ambitious pre-med student with a major in the sciences to serve as an intern in the office. The successful candidate will be poised to gain experience in the business management of a medical practice, as well as exposure to various medical cases and resolutions. And we'll be looking for an individual with basic technological skills, preferably in the use of Microsoft Office. We would desire them to have strong analytical skills and a responsible work ethic, as well as the ability to work well with others as a team. The hours are flexible, however, regular weekday attendance during our office hours is required. Please send a resume and cover letter to the offices of Dr. Smith & Wesson, 555 Colt Boulevard, Remington, Illinois, 164,522. Now, does that sound like something that you might qualify for?
Yes.
Okay, good. I kind of got it to you. So let me bring up then the document that we're going to write your resume here. Okay, so like I told everybody before, we're going to do a combination of a functional resume and a targeted resume. And a functional resume is one wherein we're going to focus more on your experience and what you've done outside of the work world rather than your employment history. Basically, that's what a functional resume does. And we're going to combine that with a targeted resume, because what a targeted resume allows us to do is focus on that specific job, so we can tailor our resume so that you match that job and they're more likely to look at you as a result. Now, where we get the information for that job is from the job description itself, the ad that we just read, so how to tailor it. So let's start out making this resume. And what we're going to do is the first thing you want them to see on your resume is
your name.
Yeah, your name, your contact information. So there's all kinds of formats and templates out there. And so I'm going to go to design here. Let's see, where's the templates? I'm not on design, apparently. Home. No. Insert a template. I'm about layout. Is there templates here? No, there's not. So I don't know where the templates are, and maybe it's under file. And if we go open, there used to be templates. So I don't know where the templates are on Microsoft Word 10. So I apologize. Good news, I know how to write a resume, so we may not need to use the templates, but if you can find the templates, then we can use that. So what we're going to do is we'll go back to home. We're going to center this. We want to bold it. We want to make the font just a little bit bigger so they catch their eye. So we'll use a 16 font here. And do you prefer to go by Ben or Benjamin formally?
Ben.
Ben, okay. We'll even underline that just to give it a little more kick there. And we'll go down just a little bit on the font here, maybe a 12 point. And I won't ask Ben his real address. I don't want you guys egging his house. So we'll just give him 123. Whoops, we don't want to underline that one. So we'll go 123 Main Street, Marshall, Illinois, 62441. And we'll give him a phone number here, area code 217-686-0043. So there's his contact information. And let's say we also want to add an email address so they have an additional professional way. And so we'll just say that his email is bross. What's your birth date? Ben, what's your
June 22nd.
June 22nd. So we'll say 6/22.
Huh?
Yep. 06, 07.
03.
03 at gmail.com. We'll just say that's his email address. And whoops, hit a wrong button there. Okay, so there we've got his information up there. And just to make it a little more fancy, maybe we're going to insert a line here. So we can go over here to shapes and maybe get a kind of double line here. There is a way to do that, but we'll do it this way right now. So we'll just bold that and enter a line there and another line down below it, just to give it a little bit of a fancy look there so that we look like we care about what we're doing here. Okay, then we'll hit enter. Control Z to go back will fix that. When you hit enter, it kind of messes it up. So we'll go over here. Now, what was the first thing in the job description that caught your eye? Go ahead, Ben. What's the first thing that caught your eye on this?
I don't know. The title.
The medical office internship. Okay.
Yep.
What is it about the internship that catches your eye?
Medical part.
The medical part.
Like,
okay.
that's what I've been.
They're looking for an ambitious pre-med student. So, and this is what you want to do, right? When you go to school.
Right.
You're going to be a pre-med student. So let's say you're applying for this while you're at school here. And let me go back to this. So the first thing we're going to is, and maybe we bullet point this. Remember, if you recall in the lecture, I told you how to limit it, use a lot of white space, don't make it too wordy. So we got this bullet point here. Where are you hoping to go to school, Ben?
University of Illinois.
Okay, so we've got current chemistry major, University of Illinois. And maybe underneath that, we're going to put some kind of information to make it seem like, you know, you're not just a chemistry major, you're a really good student. So graduated high school with a 3.98 GPA. I don't know what your GPA is, but I mean, let's just say that this is what it is. Currently, and we want to use action words here. So currently succeeding. And notice how we put the GPA number in there. It wasn't just graduated with high GPA. We gave him solid quantitative evidence there of, you know, what you're doing. So currently succeeding in organic chemistry. Spelled organic wrong. And anatomical science classes. I didn't want to say enrolled because what's that you could be failing. So succeeding gives them a little more detail there in that regards. So we've got that right there. And what we may want to do, just again, to make this a little bit more eye-popping, is let's go down here. We're going to get rid of the bullet point there, and we're going to put something like education. And then we've got that underneath there. Okay, so the next thing that popped out to you in regards to this is what?
The Microsoft Word.
Okay, so the Microsoft Office suite then.
Yeah.
Let's go back and we'll call this something like, we'll call this skills. Give it another bullet point. And now we've got, okay, so what is your expertise with the Microsoft Office suite? What have you done?
Excel, slides, and Word, pretty much.
Okay.
Like the basics of all three of those.
Okay. Or would you say you're proficient in them?
Not like super excelling.
Well, so you're not an expert, but you're proficient.
Right.
If I said, hey, make a spreadsheet, you could do that?
Yeah.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll put proficient in Microsoft Excel, Word, and PowerPoint. And what is something you've done in those so we can give them some, and PowerPoint is actually, even though it's one word, point is actually capitalized. What are some things you've done in those programs?
I've made brochures,
Okay.
gave presentations.
Created, what were the brochures for? I mean, obviously they're for a class, for a project, but what did they advertise?
It was either like someone famous, like a celebrity I liked, or like a place I liked, like a city somewhere.
Okay, so responsible for creating media on, and do you remember what you did it on?
I think it was on Word.
Responsible for creating, let's say, advertising material. I mean, you were advertising a city or a celebrity, right?
Mm-hmm.
What have you done with Excel?
Created graphs and
Okay.
spreadsheets.
What were the graphs and spreadsheets for?
They were like, I've made graphs for like science experiments, so taking data and then creating a graph out of it.
Great, because that's something we can apply then to this, right? Because that's probably what they're going to ask you to do on Excel.
Mm-hmm.
So, I hate using the word successfully, but here's what I'm going to show you how to do. Is if you highlight this, if you hit F7, it'll tell you whether you spelled it correctly, right? So it says, yes, I spelled it correctly. It's done checking that. But if I hit Shift F7, it opens a thesaurus. And so I can go over here, okay, I already used succeeding. I really don't want to use successfully. So we'll look at their first word up there, effectively. I'm going to change that to effectively. And to do that, all I have to do is click on that. And actually, I don't think it's going to, but we can always just retype that. So now we know we're going to use effectively. Effectively entered and applied data on scientific experiments into Excel spreadsheets. Did you create the spreadsheets?
Yeah.
Created by me. Okay, what about PowerPoint? How about developed? Developed and presented several effective, well, we already used effective, didn't we? So let's get rid of that. Several, did you use any video or anything in them?
On one of them, yeah.
Okay, so developed and presented several multimedia presentations relaying information on various topics using PowerPoint. And I don't know multimedia is one word. Okay, so there's the technological skills that they were looking for. Now, what was the next thing that kind of drew your attention on that job description?
Can I see it again?
I'm sorry?
Oh, never mind.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to ask if I could see it again.
Yeah, there you go.
Ability to work well with others as a team.
Okay, let me go back a little bit though and kind of draw your eye to the first thing before even the Microsoft Office stuff. Poised to gain experience in the business management side. Do you have any business experience whatsoever?
Not really.
Really? So you've never handled money?
Well, yeah, I guess I've handled money.
Okay, so where have you handled money?
I don't know. just like in my everyday life, I guess. Not
Well, I'm
like,
talking more of in a business setting. I
well,
noticed
no, no.
your dad has conned your brother and sister into collecting money for the half court shootout. Have you ever done that?
I have done that before.
I'm sure being in sports teams and clubs, you've done fundraising, haven't you?
Yeah.
Have you held like a treasurer's position or anywhere where you'd be responsible for counting the money or handling it in any way?
Some volunteer stuff I've done where I've
Excellent.
like worked
Excellent.
that.
You see, that's what I'm trying to get across to people is you look at this and go, and just like Ben, man, I don't have any business management experience. You've got to be broader about the way you think of things. There's lots of things you do in your life that aren't for a business, but are business skills that you could list as your experience here. So I'm going to go into back into the resume here real quick. If I can get this to cooperate with me. There we go. All right, and so I'm going to go down here. Like I said, I'm going to put experience. Okay, so you said you dealt with some money or some in a volunteer capacity. What was that?
Well, like I've helped sell pork burgers at a fair before.
Okay, so
and sold tickets for fundraising.
well, let's talk about the pork burgers. What was your role with that? You just sold tickets?
Well, I wasn't the one. So like those were two separate things.
Okay.
But I
So what
worked
did you
at
do?
cash register once there.
Okay, so
like
and how busy were you while you were doing that?
it depended on the time. Like I didn't really run the cash register at the busiest time.
How much
So
money do you
not
think?
terrible.
How much money do you think you handled during that time period?
At least $30, maybe more, probably.
Okay, probably
Somewhere
more,
around 50.
100.
Sure.
Okay, how much money was already in the drawer?
A lot more than that.
Okay, so let's do this. Let's go. And again, I'm going to go try to find another word for successfully because I hate overusing words. People think that you're not very well. So magnificently. No, I'm not going to go that far. We already used effectively. Yeah, I just don't like any of these options. Let's look at effectively and see what else they have for it. Oh, we haven't used efficiently. So efficiently managed cash transactions totaling over $250 in a single shift. Would you say that's true?
Sure.
Notice how we're not lying on here, and we're not bending the truth, in my opinion, either way. But we're focusing on the skill you do have, the things that you did do. He did handle cash transactions totaling over $250. If you count all the cash in there and everything, he didn't let it get stolen, did he? I hope not, Ben.
No,
okay,
definitely
good.
not.
So he does have this experience in there. Okay, so that's a little bit of business experience. Did you handle customers in any way?
Yeah.
All right, so we interacted with customers, and I assume you were very pleasant and polite.
Yeah.
In a positive manner. Now, did anybody have any questions or complaints?
About prices sometimes.
Okay, and I assume that you talked them down and were very polite and everybody left happy?
Yeah.
All right, interacted with customers in a positive manner, resolving any questions and complaints they had. To their satisfaction. So now we've got, I'm looking at this going, wow. I mean, okay, so he's handled some cash. He's, worked in customer service. These are all business skills and experience, right? What about any leadership experience you have? I know you're an
I'm on
athlete. What about captain of a sports team?
in junior high. I was captain.
Okay. And
That counts
what
for
did you do as
anything.
the captain?
Not much really. I went up
Okay.
to the referee before the games, and that's about it.
Okay, were you responsible for communicating back to your teammates any special instructions the referee gave you, or?
Depending on the game, but yeah.
Okay, so responsible for communication and coordination of a group of athletes. There you go. Now you've got some leadership skills in there. On my basketball team. We won't put junior high. And so if they ask, you
Yeah.
were a captain then, but hopefully by then, maybe you'll be a captain next year, or at least in a position of leadership where you can, say that this was the case.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to this, the medical office internship. I don't have to stop the share to do this. That's nice to know. All right, so we've got the business management side of it out of the way. We've got your skills. We're looking for someone who has strong analytical skills. I think the strong analytical skills is coming across with your GPA especially, but in the other things you did, and a responsible work ethic as well as the ability to work well with others as a team. That's why I wanted to put the sports stuff in there, because that demonstrates that you're on there. Now, if you're not an athlete and you want to show, because I'll tell you the biggest thing employers look for today is ability to work well with others and on a team. And so any kind of club or anything, in worst case scenario, a group project, just some ability to demonstrate that you can work well with a team is super important. And so that's why I kind of hit on Ben's athletics here. Certainly he was a captain. We might want to add that on there, actually, that he was a captain. So let's go back to that. Responsible of groups of athletes on my basketball team as team captain. And that demonstrates a little bit of responsibility, that he is a responsible person. And so we have all these things on here. This is a very short resume, but it's targeted to exactly what they're looking for. And of course, the more detailed the job description, the more you can fit on here. Now, based on what I wrote on there, do you have any other special skills or anything that might be of benefit here? Or any kind of awards or anything you've gotten that we could add on there?
I got student of the month in science one time.
Okay, so let's go down
I'm
here.
not sure if that would.
Oh yeah, in science, yeah. I mean, you're going into a scientific field. Didn't they specifically say in the job description, taking a science, or majoring in the sciences? So that's kind of what they're looking for here. So awards, we're going to put, when was that?
Earlier this year, like September or October.
So September 2019, Science Department Student of the Month. And we want to get rid of that. Do you think you'll get any scholarships for college?
Possibly. I mean, I'm hoping to get.
Let's say we'll get
maybe
the James and Louise Rodman Superior Science Student Scholarship. Award recipient 2021. There you go. Just made something up for you. Now, notice I haven't filled up the whole page. There's lots of white space. I'm used bullet points to draw the eye. I've used real numbers. I've used action verbs. These are the kind of things that we're looking for on the resume. You want it to be enough of a tease that we're going to call Ben and we're going to bring him in for this. So what I'm going to do on the next video presentation is I'm going to go over creating a cover letter. And all I'm going to do is use the information from the resume to do that. So Ben, I won't need you to be a part of that unless you want to be. But what I'm going to do is just put enough information in the cover letter to draw their eye to the resume. And then the resume is going to make them want to know more. Because notice I didn't put in here, okay, what is the James and Louise Rodman Superior Science Student Scholarship? I mean, you might be able to guess from the title, but what are the requirements? What did you have to do? And so in order to know those things, I'm going to want to bring you in for an interview. And that's what the purpose of the interview is to tease it enough, whet their appetite that they want to meet you. And I think that's kind of what we've done in this resume here. It's very simple, but it draws the eye and gives just enough information to make me want to know more about you and whether you're a good fit here. Would you agree with that, Ben?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so that's all I had for this. I was hoping to get to the cover letter on this too, but we took a little bit longer on the resume, so I'll add the cover letter to this later on, and then we can certainly combine those and show you the whole thing so that you can make your own. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me, and I'll go over and even help you with the development of your own resume. Once you've created your cover letter and resume, send me pictures of them. I'll tear them apart because you want this to be perfect. Spelling, grammar, everything, because this is your first impression on them. And when they read it and they go, this person can't communicate, it goes in the circular file, and that's all she wrote. If you're not meeting their need with that targeted resume and cover letter, that's all she wrote. You'll never be considered. So these things have to be perfect. And so ask me, I'll be happy to go over them with you once you create them, and then we'll give you that extra credit on there for this assignment. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Ben, thank you for volunteering your time with me today, and hopefully we'll see you guys later. Thanks, Ben.
Yep.
Okay, so I've taken some time and I've written out a cover letter for Ben that I kind of want to just go over with you real quick as a part of this. Now, the cover letter is going to be attached to the resume itself on the front of it, but it's something that you should write after you write the resume so that you know what information you're kind of teasing out of them. So let's go through this real quick. If you watch the lecture, I gave you the formatting. You'll notice up top there is Ben's name and address. That's what you want to put first. And then underneath that is your addressee, the medical offices of Dr. Smith and Wesson, and the address that was given in the job description. And then you'll notice tabbed over on the right, on the last line of that, April 15th, 2020, actually should go down another line here, 2 lines, and we'll tab that over there. So it's right over there. And then we've got Dear Doctors Smith and Wesson. Now notice I use their title because it's a professional title. Let's say that this was a job as an accountant. There's no professional, a prefix title for an accountant. So let's say their name is Chris Smith. Is Chris a man or Chris a woman? What we would say instead of Dear Mr. or Dear Miss or Mrs., we would say Dear Chris Smith. In this case, we don't have to worry about their, what gender they are because they have a professional title. So addressing them as Doctors Smith and Wesson covers everything here. Now, you'll notice in the first paragraph here, I'm writing to you today to express interest in the position of medical office intern that you advertise in the chemistry department at the University of Illinois, where I am currently a student. Notice that does a few things there. First off, how did you hear about this? Well, I heard about it in the chemistry department where I'm currently a student. That also kind of brags that, hey, you said you wanted someone who was majoring in the sciences. I'm majoring in the sciences, and I pay attention to my department about what's going on because I saw your posting. So we get down to that first paragraph, how you heard about the position. The second paragraph is we're going to kind of build on our strengths. I was very intrigued by this position as I hope to someday have a practice of my own, and being exposed to the business side of a practice is a skill that I would find invaluable. So, okay, I would be a good fit. I think that this is an exciting position. I'm not just someone looking for a job. I think this is going to help me in the future. I share similar interests as you. As you will see on my resume, I do already have some limited business experience, but would love to build on it. Great. Now what you've done is you've teased them with the cover letter to go look at the resume itself. And then, I'm kind of being tricked here to look at the resume, which is what you want them to do. Tease them on the cover letter, look at the resume, give a little bit more information on the resume to tease them to bring you in for the interview. Next paragraph here. As a captain of my basketball team and in various volunteer roles, I've gained deep appreciation for hard work and timeliness. I think this has also demonstrated my academic GPA and the awards I've earned as a result. Again, you're teasing them to look at the resume to get some of this information and maybe possibly bring you in for an interview to get more details. But you've teased them with just enough information to show, see, I really do have this, but if you really wanted to go in depth about it, you're going to have to see me. And then finally, our closing here, I hope that you will consider me for this position, and I look forward to hearing from you very soon. I can be reached most days on my phone, which is 217-686-0043, or alternatively by email at bross62203@gmail.com. Now, I know those contact information is on the resume as well. And if you staple your cover letter to your resume, a lot of times to run it through a computer, which is what a lot of businesses will do, the scanner, they have to take the cover letter and the staple out. If they take the cover letter off and they lose it, you have your contact information on your resume. If somehow the resume gets misplaced, I have your contact information in the cover letter. So two different places where I've put contact information. You'd be surprised how often I've gotten resumes and cover letters where the cover letter is missing and the resume doesn't have any contact information on it. Or I see the cover letter and they forgot to include a resume or something. There's no contact information on the cover letter itself. I don't have time to go research and find out who you are, so it just goes in the circular file. So here again, we have all these things. And then just another professional closing. Again, I thank you for your time. Look forward to speaking with you about this exciting position. I give a couple spaces to put the closing sincerely, and then 3 or 4 more spaces to put my name. So there's room there right here for me to then sign my name with a signature at the end. So I hope this gives you some ideas and the information necessary to create an effective resume and cover letter, and that this helps you out. So again, do this assignment. I'll look it over for you if you want to save it for in the future, and then I'll give you the extra credit. And if you have any questions in the meantime, feel free to contact me.